Hey guys, it is Wingy here and welcome back to a brand new video on my channel. And the third episode of Bucket List Movies. I think the day this goes up is the day to the month that I last uploaded a Bucket List Movies on my series, which was Terminator, which you can go and check out if you want. But today we are talking about a different movie, obviously because I've seen Terminator now and Trainspotting, so there's no point doing them again. Today's episode I'm going to be looking at Pan's Labyrinth. Again, like with all the other movies in this series, I haven't seen it, but this time I've been recommended this movie by one of my best and oldest friends. So Dan, don't worry, I'm finally doing Pan's Labyrinth. But just before I properly get into this video guys, Dan, who recommended this film to me, has also got a YouTube channel himself. On his channel he makes short films that are sort of weird and out there, so if that's your kind of thing, then I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. Go and drop him a sub and watch his videos and let him know that I sent you over there. So as we are talking about Pan's Labyrinth, I am obviously going to tell you what I'm sort of expecting from it before I go and watch it, as that is how this series works. So I don't really know that much about this film other than it's directed by Guillermo del Toro and that it isn't in English, so I assume there's going to be subtitles there. Well, hopefully there will be, otherwise because I don't speak Spanish, this could be interesting if there are no subtitles. I'm pretty sure there will be though. And even though I have seen like Japanese anime, like the original versions that are subbed, I haven't really seen a foreign film yet. There is a worry there that I won't enjoy it as much as I normally would because it isn't in English, but hopefully the movie is solid enough and good enough that I will enjoy it regardless. But going into this, I really don't know what to expect because Dan has told me a number of different things about it. It is one of his favourite films, and Dan is the sort of person, if you know him, that likes really sort of obscure, weird, out there things, whereas I'm not. So to be honest, I'm not really sure how I'm going to view this movie. I'm just expecting great visuals. Like from what I've seen from this movie, it does look great. So if I come away thinking I have no idea what I've just watched, hopefully the visuals will impress me. Because as you're aware, if you watch my channel, I do like sci-fi and I like Doctor Who and Star Wars, and I love seeing creature makeup and that sort of thing. And I have seen some of the creatures in this movie and I do think they look really, really cool. So I'm really curious to see how they're going to be in this movie, who's going to be the good guys, who's going to be the bad guys and that sort of thing. And I don't know if this fact is true or if I've got it completely right, but I remember Dan saying something to me along the lines of, except for two, all the creatures in this are practical effects. So if that is the case, then yes, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing those creatures then. Obviously, as someone who is used to classic Doctor Who, I'm used to seeing pretty crap makeup for creatures and monsters, and they're essentially just cardboard robots. But yeah, you know, I guess I just want to be immersed into this world. You know, even if I don't understand it and the subtitles don't help, because sometimes for me they can be a distraction, I just hope the world that this film presents is good enough that I don't really care that it's in another language. I think out of the three movies that I've done in this series thus far, Pan's Labyrinth is probably the one that I am least looking forward to. But hopefully I like it, because Dan has said if I don't like this movie, our friendship is over. I think he was joking. I hope he was joking. I mean, he better be, because I have said that I would review this movie for him. Yes, anyway, like I say, I really don't know about this movie. I'm really unsure about it. I'm not expecting a lot. I worry that the subtitles will be a distraction more than anything else, but the creatures may intrigue me. That's what I'm thinking going into this movie, so now it's time for me to go away and watch the movie. Right, I'll be back in a bit. Well, 3 seconds, but you know what I mean.
2 hours later.
So I have returned, I have watched Pan's Labyrinth, and now it's time to give you my thoughts on the movie now that I have seen it. I may have just lost a friend. As I said before going into watching the film, it was something that I wasn't really keen on seeing. So it kind of amazes me that I was actually disappointed with this film. I can hear Dan's teeth just grating together with rage already. I did not like this film. Maybe it was what I was expecting from it in terms of the creatures and the world of Pan's Labyrinth itself. But instead, what we got was a movie that felt like two different films sort of mushed together. You have this idea that Ophelia isn't actually Ophelia, she's this princess in this alternate weird creature-filled reality. And then you also have the stuff with Captain Vidal and the Spanish Civil War, which is fine, except for the latter took up the majority of the film. So what I was expecting was not what I got at all. To me, Ophelia and her story was the most interesting thing in this entire movie, but it's also the thing that I found was the least utilised. The Spanish Civil War stuff and the stuff with Vidal and the rebels, that was at the forefront of this movie. Now, I'm not saying that this movie is bad, I'm not saying it's terrible, terrible. I'm not saying anything like that. For me, this was just a very average war film mixed in with some fantasy. And it wasn't really what I wanted from this movie. As I said, Ophelia was the most interesting character in this movie, and I wanted to see more of her. I wanted to see more of her with the fawn. I wanted to see more of her actually dealing with all these different creatures. When she was given a task by the fawn, it didn't really take that long for her to solve it or do whatever she needed to do. So then you get like 5, 10 maybe at the most minutes of her doing certain things with the fawn or in the tree or with that dude. And then not a lot else. The rest of it is with Vidal and the rebels and Mercedes and all that kind of stuff. But the problem is, I just didn't really care about all that stuff that much. Maybe it is me, you know, maybe some people can enjoy it for what this movie is, but I guess I was just expecting something else. I was hoping for more of the Labyrinth and more of that sort of thing. You know, there's stuff in this movie that I just question, why was that in there as opposed to more stuff with Ophelia? For example, in the rebel base, when we first go there, we see this man who has leg problems and the doctor says he can't do anything, he's gonna have to amputate it. And the music builds up like it's all sad, and then you see the saw go in and then it cuts away. That scene is fine. The only problem is we never saw this character before, and I don't think we ever see him again. So I didn't care. It was just some guy that we barely know. The movie tried to ramp it up like it was this big emotional beat. But like I say, we don't know who this character is, and we never see him again. It's stuff like that where I just think, why was that there when we could have spent more time in the tree with the toad, or actually into the labyrinth? As I say, it's an average war film mixed in with not enough of what I think this movie probably should have been. It isn't all terrible though. Vidal is easily one of the most evilest bastard-like characters that I've seen in a movie in a long time. I absolutely hated Vidal, and that's something that the movie did well, because you are supposed to hate him. But I think right from the beginning, I think what they do is, I think it's a bit on the nose how much they emphasize how much of a bastard he is. I feel they could have done that in a much more subtle way. I think my favorite scene in this entire movie is definitely his death at the end. The bit where he says, tell my son this, tell my son that, and Mercedes interrupts him and says, no, he won't even know your name. I was just like, yes, thank fuck. Die, you stupid greasy head. Fuck face. You know, kid actors, I think they are few and far between in terms of the good ones. And I think, I don't know her name, but whoever played Ophelia, yeah, she was really good. And one thing that I was expecting going into this was great creature design. And my god, was it. The toad looked really cool. It looked really grim as well. All the different salivas and mud that were all over Ophelia. I thought it was really horrible. But then again, it should have been. The fawn looked really great. I was very suspicious of the fawn, actually. I don't know if the movie did that on purpose. I don't know if you're supposed to be suspicious of him, because throughout the course of the movie you do think, is this guy a good guy? Is this guy a bad guy? Like, what's his deal? And I think that was one of the more interesting plots of the movie, even though they barely showed too much of it. This guy was really cool as well. I think the thing that I liked about him the most was he is obviously a practical effect, but his legs were so skinny. I really wonder how they did that, because like they were literally to the bone skinny. Although when he is running after Ophelia, I did get the feeling that I'd seen this guy before, and I don't mean in the movie or in anything else or like promo images or anything like that. He just looked like something, and it took me a minute, and I thought, oh my god, he looks like one of them things out of Futurama. I don't know the name at the minute, but I will edit in a picture of them here. So yeah, those guys from Futurama. Yeah, him, he reminded me of one of them. I hope I know what I'm searching for, because if not, I'm just going to be there pointing at nothing for no apparent reason. You really got a sense of Ophelia's fear in that scene as well. Although, wouldn't you if a giant testicle with eyes in its hands was running after you? Yeah, that's pretty fucking creepy. And then, of course, we go to my favourite moment for Ophelia, which is, of course, ironically her death. God, I like death in this movie, don't I? Where the fawn says, you must spill the blood of an innocent to open the labyrinth, and then she obviously says no, and then Vidal comes in, and he shoots her, and her blood is the one that spills, and in turn that opens the labyrinth and brings her into the labyrinth where she meets her father and her mother again. It was revealed that she passed the test. Really great moments. Like I say, I don't think this movie is terrible. I don't think this movie is bad, anything like that. It's just a very average movie to me that didn't really deliver on what I was hoping it would. It did have great imagery like I was hoping for, but as I keep saying, it didn't have enough of it. I think all the war stuff, as great as it looked, was easily some of the least interesting things in the movie. But it was at the forefront the entire time, and that it just really bugs me that. But the point of this series is bucket list movies. Is this a bucket list movie? A movie that you have to see before you die? And honestly, no. Not to me it isn't. Dan, I can't apologise enough. I did really want to like it. and I gave it a try. It just isn't for me. So whilst I can't understand why people do like this movie and why people genuinely really love this movie, I'm not one of them. Maybe it's a simple case of I just didn't get it or I need to watch it a few more times, I don't know. But what I will say is I don't really have an interest in watching this movie again. It isn't a bucket list movie in my eyes. In either of my eyes. Ooh. What the fuck am I doing? One thing I will say though, I was going into this worried about the language barrier. Wasn't an issue. Didn't really bother me at all. You know, halfway through I forgot that it was in Spanish and not in English. So that brings us to the end, and it is kind of an awkward end after I just sort of criticised a movie that in the title says a bucket list movie. So people who are new to this series might be confused saying, oh, this will be a bucket list movie then. Nope, no it isn't. That is just my opinion. If you love Pan's Labyrinth, I shouldn't be able to take that away from you. Just as much as you yelling at me and calling me a cunt for not liking it, that isn't really going to change my mind. And that isn't to trolls or anything, that is specifically to Dan for when I next see him. So, in the comments below, let me know what you think. Do you enjoy Pan's Labyrinth? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What do you think? Whatever it is, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, which I'm pretty sure you didn't, Dan, please leave a like on it. As soon as I get a dislike, I know exactly who it's gonna be. Subscribe if you want to see more of this bucket list movie series, as the next one that I'm going to do is the sci-fi cult classic that is Blade Runner. Also subscribe if you want to see all the other crap that's on my channel. It's alright, you know. But that's gonna be all from me. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye. Greasy head. I nearly said four-eyed.